Hi, everyone. Welcome to our session today. We are talking about energy and environment at Fuqua. I am Katie Kross. I am Managing Director of the Center for Energy Development and the Global Environment, or EDGE, here at Fuqua. We're really excited to meet you, so welcome to our live audience, as well as those of you who are watching the recording after today's session. I'm also joined today by one of our students, Andrew Poulos. Andrew, do you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Yeah, sure. Hi, I'm Andrew Poulos. I'm a current second-year student and a co-president of the MBA Energy Club here.
So today we are going to be taking your questions live. If you're joining us today, you can use the Q&A button and we'll see questions come in on our iPad here. If you are watching this recording after the fact, or if you have questions that we just don't have time to get to, I'll tell you a couple of resources. One is we have a lot of information for prospective students, including FAQs, on our EDGE Center website. So that's fuqua.duke.edu/edge, and we'll include that link in the information below the YouTube recording as well. We also today, Andrew and I are not actually involved with admissions directly. So if you have questions that are very specific to the Fuqua admissions process, tests, recommendations, all of that, we're going to instead ask you to email those to admissions-info@fuqua.duke.edu. So lots to talk about today. Really exciting time to be talking about energy and environment. Fuqua is absolutely one of the best business schools in the world, best universities in the world to be studying energy and environment, and they're really exciting career paths as well. So we want to talk about all of that. We want to answer your questions. Let me start by just asking Andrew to tell us a little bit more about your experience as a student.
Yeah, absolutely. So prior to coming to business school, I started my career as a chemical engineer in the aerospace sector and then in energy storage. Decided to come to business school because I was looking for a path to be more involved with energy, and so decided on Duke because of the community here of energy and the environment, and certainly the EDGE Center as well. And it's been a great experience so far. So very involved with the Energy Club. I mentioned I'm a co-president of the club. We have Energy Week coming up next week, which is a big ordeal, which has been great. And yeah, it's been a great experience in the sector so far.
It's a big celebration as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a lot of work for the student organizers, but it's a pretty incredible time on campus.
Yeah, we're excited.
So EDGE, let me tell you a little more context about EDGE as a center. We work with students who are interested in all things energy and environment across campus, and that could be students like Andrew who really want to go deep on energy and intend to work in the energy sector after graduation. It could be students who know they're going to be working in investment banking or consulting or CPG, and they'd like to learn a little bit more about the energy and sustainability issues that will affect their business decision making. We also work with students who are really passionate about environmental and climate issues. Maybe they want to work in a corporate sustainability role. Maybe they want to work in a climate tech startup or VC. Lots of different career paths. And as a center, our goal is to provide enough curriculum, experiential learning, and extracurricular activities, as well as career support across the campus to help serve all those students, whether you're someone who just wants to take a class or just wants to come to the energy conference, or whether you're someone who wants to think about energy environment issues every week of your MBA. You can go deep if you want to do an MBA concentration in energy and environment. There's an MBA concentration in energy finance. And there's also a 3-year joint degree program called the MBA and the Masters of Environmental Management, or the MEM MBA, the MEMBA program. We have students who do that as well, and they might also focus on energy and or climate and sustainability. So lots of options sort of at whatever level you decide to plug in. So maybe we'll talk a little bit more about that as a start. Do you want to share some of the highlights of either your curricular or your extracurricular experiences so far?
Sure, yeah. It's been great to kind of have that, like you said, the energy and environment mix involved both in the curriculum and classes as well as extracurricular too. So one of my favorite classes so far in the energy space is the EDGE seminar, which is put on by Dan Vermeer from the EDGE Center. And as you're going through core classes your first semester, it's nice that the EDGE seminar is a once-a-week session where industry professionals come in and give an overview of their company and kind of their strategy given the current energy environment. And so having that intermixed with your core classes really makes it a good place to like combine what's going on in the energy field along with like what you're learning in your curriculum. So the classes have been great in that sense. And then the Energy Club, there's always a lot going on with it. Our energy conference in the fall is our big event for the year. We have more than 500 people, I think, signed up this year. So it'll be great to have those people on campus and, again, collaborate with them and have a good community of energy, like-minded folks. So it's been great.
Awesome. And have you done anything that's like FCCP, our Fuqua Client Consulting Practicum, experiential learning, or any of the other sort of applied learning in-semester internship or anything else like that?
Yeah, so I took part in the GATE travel course, which is a class course once a week where you have a certain focus, and then at the end of the semester you go on a travel to these countries or regions to kind of have more in-depth and hands-on learning. And so that was with Dan Vermeer as well this past spring. It changes year to year, but our GATE trek was a sustainability and energy focus, and it was in the Nordics. So we had an opportunity to go to Denmark, Norway, and the Arctic Circle and collaborate with ocean sustainability companies, fishing companies, and the energy industry out there as well. So I think the hands-on approach of that class was really valuable for me in my career.
Awesome. A lot of our first-year students also participate in this program called Fuqua Client Consulting Practicum, FCCP. So if you have seen that and you're interested in that, there are a subset of projects that are either explicitly energy or climate and sustainability related. So that's another opportunity that you have right away in your first year. Some of our students also choose to do work with a company, and they can do that through what's called the Mentored Study program. And it's basically an in-semester internship where you're getting real-world experience and you're getting course credit for that. And we also have a program called the EDGE Fellows program, where we have students who are passionate about research and writing, and they will work with us to write papers on different topics that ultimately get published on a platform that we call MBA Edge. It's mba-edge.com. We publish student papers up there. They're accessible to you even right now with all kinds of topics like markets to watch, data center power, or circular economy, what every MBA needs to know. Lots of different energy, environment, sustainability topics, and that's another opportunity that you can do for credit while you're a student. So as you can see, like there's some really fun opportunities. I'm very jealous about the Nordic trip travel experience myself, but lots to get involved with as a student. What else? Is there anything else that you want to add about the Energy Club or your experience being a leader in the club?
Yeah, I think what has been nice about the club is the involvement the club has with first years early on. So when I decided on Fuqua, the club gave us an opportunity to help out with the conference planning over the summer before we even got on campus. And so the nice part about that, though, is like you get the community really early on of energy and environment-minded folks. And so that was great to be involved. We have a great first year club cabinet program with the Energy Club, and so again building that community of people who are interested in the sector, and quite a lot going on with energy right now, so it's a good time to build that collaboration and community. And so the involvement there in kind of helping the club steer this new path we have in terms of increased energy demand with data center build-outs across the country and how we're going to find clean and sustainable solutions to that has been really fun.
Awesome. I also want to mention that, one of the great things about Fuqua is that we are here at Duke, and there's a lot happening across the whole campus at Duke. So if you are interested in any of these topics, chances are there's opportunities for you to take classes outside of Fuqua. So there's terrific energy classes over at the Nicholas School of the Environment or the School of Law or the Sanford School of Public Policy. There's opportunities for you to take climate and sustainability classes across campus too. There are opportunities for you to plug in to events that are happening across campus. So the energy conference that's happening, it happens every fall The conference itself is planned by the MBA Energy Club, but it's part of a larger Energy Week at Duke, which is a whole series of events that is interdisciplinary collaboration of students across campus. So lots happening there. There also, besides energy, there are cross-campus collaborations on oceans, the Oceans at Duke initiative. There's a new circular economy initiative. There's a new AI and society initiative. Others that I'm thinking, forgetting.
Like Climate Cap as well.
Climate Cap, of course. Climate Cap is a program that we coordinate out of the Edge Center. It's a partnership of 50 different business schools, all focused on how we talk to MBAs about the business risks and opportunities of climate in business school. And every year there's an annual summit that's hosted at a different university. We are the secretariat of the whole organization. We also host a Climate Cap Fellowship. But as a Fuqua student, you can try to hit the button to get a ticket. I say that because the tickets usually sell out in about an hour. Yep. We usually send a good delegation to the summit each year, and a whole bunch of Fuqua students will attend the Climate Cap MBA Summit, along with students from MBA programs across the country. So. Yeah.
I think last year we had 20 or so Fuqua students that were able to get that ticket in the first couple minutes of signing up. So we went out to Berkeley last year, and it was a great time.
Yeah, so that's something to look forward to every year. But there are a bunch of other Climate Cap virtual events as well as in-person events, and a lot happening across Duke's campus. So one of the takeaways, I think, for all of you who are prospective students is that there's something for everyone. If you have trouble navigating all the many options, the long menu of options, that's one of the roles that I play, is to help students find where they could plug into across campus, but there's sort of no shortage of opportunities here on campus.
Yeah, and same with another plug for the Energy Club is along with our Net Impact Club, we have similar road mapping series, which is to help first-year students go through that path of recruiting and finding your place in the sector that you want to be in.
So a lot of MBAs, as we know, come back to business school because they're trying to make a career change. So let's talk about careers. Was that the case for you? Did you come to make a pivot? And how has that process been for you?
Yeah, so I did come to make a pivot. Like I said, I started in engineering, and after a few years in aerospace, I got the chance to work in energy storage. So I worked for a company called Panasonic Energy, and we were doing battery manufacturing for Tesla at the Gigafactory out in Sparks, Nevada. And so it kind of first steps into the energy space, but used an MBA to both build my business foundation and then pivot more fully into the energy space. So I could talk about my internship as well. This
would be great.
Summer I interned at NextEra Energy in Florida, and I was on the data center infrastructure team. So an exciting time for that team because quite a lot of build out and CapEx going into it. But I worked as a project manager on working with the hyperscalers to secure power purchase agreements and build out clean energy solutions for their data centers.
Awesome. So why do you want to tell us what is exciting about the energy sector in general?
Yeah.
Why did you decide to pivot into energy?
Yeah, I think I've always liked tough problems, and coming into business school, it was hard for me to think of a bigger challenge than how we're going to transition our energy sector to renewable sources during this rise in demand for energy at the same time. So to me, it sounded like a really big challenge and a really big area to have impact and to kind of pave the way to the future of how we can solve this problem that we're facing and do it in ways that are good for both the environment and us as a community.
I love that answer. So I think that for most of our students, whether you're interested in energy or oceans or climate change or circular economy solutions or sustainable food and ag, I think some of those themes ring true. What I love is that not only is it a chance to connect your MBA skills with this idea of having impact in your career and making the world a better place, it's also a place where there's just super interesting challenges and problems to solve and really put your skill set to work on challenges that don't have answers yet is a really exciting way to spend your career.
Yep, absolutely.
Let's talk about you're the president of the Energy Club. So besides NextEra, what are some of the other places that some of your cabinet members or club members go to work?
Yeah, so looking for internships and then post-MBA careers, our club members typically fall into three big sectors. The first would be power and renewables. So this would be if you're interested in energy development, so renewables, wind, solar, natural gas development, or anything from negotiating power purchase agreements with different companies and being on the utility side, so in a regulated utility state and working to get projects for the communities built there. Quite a big presence there between NextEra, Duke Energy, and firms like that. And then the second sector would be energy finance. So we have a lot of our club members going into finance roles like power and utility, investment banking, climate VCs, and even nonprofits that are doing energy transition investing. So there's quite a big spectrum in that space for careers post-MBA. And third would be your kind of pipeline to leadership development programs. So a lot of the big energy firms in particular have rotational programs where you get to experience a different sector of the energy space and for 6 months to a year and rotate through and help develop your career and help you decide on a career path with the company moving forward.
Awesome. And for any of you who are interested more on other environmental sustainability topics, maybe less focus on energy, but maybe you're interested in other aspects of environmental impact, we absolutely have students that want to go work in corporate sustainability roles. There's lots happening in that space. Some who want to work in sustainability consulting, whether that's at a big management consulting firm or more of a boutique sustainability consulting firm. We have students that want to work specifically in a sector on different sustainability issues. So maybe they're looking to work for a sustainable company or a values-based business that's in a food waste solution or sustainable agriculture or a building efficiency product. So lots of different ways to take your business skill set and apply it to work on solving a challenge that you're passionate about. Most of these, not all, most of these job searches are going to be what we call a custom search. So it's a little less of the sort of what you might have heard of at the on-campus recruiting of management consulting or investment banking. We do have some energy sector companies recruiting on campus. Was that your experience with NextEra? Was that through the on-campus recruiting process?
Yep, that's right. So some of the large energy firms will start their kind of pipeline internship structure earlier to compete with the consulting and investment banking timelines. So NextEra was a good example of that. Marathon Capital in investment banking space was another good example of a climate company that is trying to kind of recruit a little earlier. But like you said, if you don't get into one of the pipelines or not interested in one of these pipelines, there's a wide array of the custom search that occurs anywhere from end of fall to spring to just-in-time recruiting in March, April timeframe.
Or May.
Or May.
Actually, we had some statistics about internship offers last year, and I think that the majority of the acceptances were in April and May, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Which is always a little nerve-wracking for students, but the message is that there's a lot of support here for you as a student, and those opportunities definitely come. So even if you are already worried about what that career outcome is, there's just a lot of support along the way. I think that's really important to stress because the team that's going to support you in your custom search during business school, it really matters. So are you going to be having enough connections with an active and generous alumni community? Are you going to have enough experts on campus? Are you going to have the support of clubs like the Energy Club or the Net Impact Club or our Food and Ag Club or our Memba Club that are going to help you make all those connections and be ready for those interviews and help you find those leads. So I think that's one of the things that Fuqua does so well and has been so meaningful for many students is making those connections and having that supportive community around them for their custom search.
Yeah, absolutely. And as a note of encouragement, I would also say that whether people in my class were interested in the pipelines or interested in the custom search, everyone in the energy club space was able to find a internship this summer, and that's just a note to the community and the faculty, and everyone's here to help you find your career search and help make sure you get with a firm and an internship that you're interested in. So,
Awesome. We have a question here about energy finance careers and wanting to know a little bit more about the concentration as well as post-MBA jobs. I will say on the concentration front, and then you can add anything I miss. You can read about the Fuqua concentrations on the website. So if you Google Fuqua concentrations, you'll get the page where there's 14, 15, 16 concentrations, something like that. At Fuqua, you can choose to do your MBA without a concentration, just a straight MBA, or you can choose 1 or 2 concentrations as a student. And I like to think of them as a little bit like an undergraduate major, in that you're going to take your Fuqua core classes, then you're going to choose the electives that you want, and if they fulfill concentration, then great, you can add that to your resume. But if not, or if you just want to take a broad mix of classes, you don't have to do a concentration either. But the energy finance concentration includes a lot of both, as you would expect, finance classes and energy classes. And you have some choices that you can take that you fulfill, that help you fulfill on both sides of that equation.
Yep.
Is that your concentration?
It is. I'm currently taking the energy finance too. Yeah, and I think it's been great and helpful for a variety of fields. So I know your question was focused on post-MBA jobs with this concentration, and I think it gives you that flexibility. So like I said, I was at NextEra interning, and I'll be at NextEra full time. But getting the finance background along with the energy-specific courses was really helpful for me, even when considering an energy development project and how we're going to finance it and what financial and PPA prices make sense to make that fit your project. And along with that, the kind of your energy finance, if you're looking to go into an investment role, a nonprofit investing or even VC roles, I think like the curriculum that they give is really strong in getting you set up for success in that.
You could work in private equity, you could work in a bank, and you could work in project finance role at a number of different companies. You could work in M&A, right?
Yep, and tons of flexibility. And the energy side of it is really great as well. So a lot of the Nicholas School of the Environment courses count towards credit for this concentration. And so along with building up the business and financial background, you can get real-world training to go out and be in this sector as well.
So you talked about the EDGE seminar class. You talked about the GATE. Are there other classes that have stood out for you or that you're planning to take this year?
Yeah, so Dan's corporate climate and sustainability course in fall 1 was another great example of a way to get hands-on and involved with industry. So he brings in guest speakers every lecture to kind of give corporate and sustainability strategy for different companies. And we had a wide array of companies, whether it's Iceland Oceanic Cluster representative come and talk to us, or Venezuela's U.S. Ambassador Venezuela. So like the fields in the sustainability space that we were able to get some experience and learning from was really valuable, I think.
Awesome. The other concentration that we talked about, the energy finance concentration, the other concentration that we support is called just energy and environment. It's very flexible. You have to take some classes that are business classes that are great skills to have if you want to work in an energy and environment career. But then you have a wide range of electives that you can choose from that have either a sustainability or energy component to them. And at Fuqua, we really like to emphasize this pairing of energy and environment for a very specific reason. We know there are other schools that do it differently, but for us, if you want to be an energy sector professional for the next, say, 30 years of your career after you finish your MBA, you absolutely need to understand the environmental sustainability and climate issues that industry is going to be factoring into their decision making when it comes to both risk and investment decisions, right? But likewise, if you want to work on sustainability issues, whether that's climate or oceans or agriculture, energy is one of the biggest inputs into those sustainability decisions. So we really would like you to also understand, even if you don't want to work in the energy sector, we'd like you to understand energy sector issues as they relate to environmental issues. So we've intentionally paired those together. Hopefully as a student, you get a chance to kind of live with both of those, even if one of them is like where you want to devote most of your time.
Yeah, and there is some overlap too in that you don't get sectioned off from taking some of these finance courses if you are going down the energy and environment track. So like that flexibility is really great. And I see one of our questions that came in was talking about a way to mix energy and environment and strategy, and you absolutely can do that in finding classes that can count towards whatever concentration you want to prioritize, and then getting that coursework, or if you want to try to secure 2 concentrations as well. Definitely an ability to go and get more experience in these different concentration fields.
Yeah, and if you take a look at the list of classes that count, it's as Andrew said, it's really doable if you want to have like a functional concentration and an energy and environment concentration. Some, maybe you pair it with strategy, but maybe you pair it with operations and supply chain or marketing. So lots of flexibility. We have a question here about the Fuqua Impact Scholars, so I can answer that briefly. The Fuqua Impact Scholars is a scholarship that's assigned to you when you are admitted, and you will be then at that point affiliated with one of Fuqua's 5 centers. So EDGE is just one of the centers. We also have HSM, Cole, CASE, and Innovation Entrepreneurship. And the Impact Scholars are selected to be affiliated with one of the centers. It is a prestigious scholarship, and it's really nice for students to have that affiliation. And there are some programs that we offer specifically for Impact Scholars. So there are opportunities for all the Impact Scholars to get together for speakers and receptions and some specific invitation-only events. But I also want to emphasize that there are lots of ways for students to work with EDGE and all of the centers, irrespective of being selected as an Impact Scholar. So we would certainly welcome you to come talk with us, no matter what your interest area is, and happy to plug you in, whether that's participating in our events, our lunch and learns, meeting our faculty and staff, working as an EDGE fellow on a project, or just coming in to chat during office hours, which I have plenty of visits like that, and I love it.
Definitely.
Have you been involved with, obviously you're involved with EDGE, but have you been involved with any of the other centers while you've been a student?
I think more of my involvement has been with EDGE, and it's been a great time with the Impact. I'm an Impact Scholar as well, and so getting involved with those on campus, and whether it's a different dinner or if it's the Impact Scholars from all of the different groups come together for networking sessions and lunch and learns. I think just getting involved there and kind of building those connections has been really valuable too, because you see a lot of like-minded students.
Yeah. So it's a nice plus, but it's also not a limitation. And you also, sometimes students ask us like, well, I'm interested in what EDGE is doing, but I'm also interested in what CASE is doing, or I'm also interested in, can I be a Cole fellow? And the answer is absolutely. So it's not exclusive. You don't have to choose one center and work only with that one center. You can work with multiple centers while you're a student. And each has a slightly different sort of set of offerings and opportunities and fellowships. So look for those. And then if in doubt, just talk to the staff at the leadership at those centers and talk about how you can get involved. I know that we are running low on our time, so I definitely want to, before we wrap up, though, talk about some of anything that we missed that you wanted to talk about, Andrew, but also anything that, parting thoughts that you have for why these prospective students really want to come to Fuqua to study energy and environment.
Yeah, a good plug for Fuqua in general is I've been really impressed since being here with the amount of community and industry professionals that come on campus and are directly involved with students, whether it's in these EDGE seminar classes, climate and sustainability class with them coming in and speaking to us, or the variety of career fairs, and like Katie mentioned, Energy Week and the Energy Conference. It's just a great place to come to build your network in that space, and a lot of like-minded people there that you can learn from and make those connections. And I'd say across the different sustainability, environmental fields, there's plenty of that here at Fuqua, and it's been great to be involved with it.
Awesome. And if people want to connect with or learn more about the Energy Club, how should they do that? I know you mentioned you have a new website.
Yep. So yeah, if you just Google Duke MBA Energy Club, the website should be the first link that pops up. And there's quite a lot of information, both on events that are on campus, There's a submittal form if you want to get involved with the club, if you know you're coming on campus, and just kind of gives you a lot of background about our club and our cabinet. So feel free to check that out. But yeah.
And there's probably a way for them to reach out to the club if they want to connect with your.
Yep, there's a direct
form.
contact us link, so feel free to submit one of those on the website, and it goes into a email basket for us.
Awesome. And likewise, if you want to learn more, we do have lots of information. We have alumni profiles, and we have articles written by students. We have a whole FAQ page on our Edge Center website. So again, that's fuqua.duke.edu/edge. We'll include these links in the recording notes too. And if you have admissions questions or really any other questions that you haven't figured out a way to get answered, email the admissions team. They'll help point you to the right club or the person at Fuqua that might be able to answer them. So the admissions email address is admissions-info@fuqua.duke.edu. So at this point in your prospective student journey, you probably heard a lot about Team Fuqua. The culture is real. Here we are ready to help. We'd love to talk to you, and we hope we'll be seeing you here at Fuqua soon in the near future.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Thank you, guys.